setting up the camera so it works. Hi, my name is Charlie. Welcome back to my channel. I talk about writing, chronic illness, studying, and life in general. And this is my first video of the new year. Why can't I see through my glasses? This is my first video of the new year. I was going to post one last week, but there were some issues, including paralysis, so I didn't. But I do have a very exciting video today. I have a novel coming out in a couple of months, March 20th, Icarus Falls, and I've been gaining some following on social media because of this novel, and so I asked on my Instagram what people would like to know about my life as a full-time author and what they would like to know about writing, any questions that they had. And I have a little notebook here. Ta-da, my notebook with my sticky notes. And I wrote all the questions down. Ta-da! I'll be doing lots of these over the next sort of year as my own writing career takes off, as, you know, I watch people on social media who follow me, finish their first draft, start looking into publishing. And I'm so excited for this video because I love answering questions about writing, and up until very recently I had very few friends who liked writing or even thought about it. But social media is a wonderful place, and my beta readers are wonderful people, and I know that a couple of them have asked me some questions. So I am going to get into that. Before I do, like and subscribe, please. You know, the more exposure I get on social media, the better my career will get. I'm at the very beginning of my career as a writer. It takes years, but I'll be talking about that later. So like and subscribe, follow me on social media, TikTok and Instagram at Charlie Studies Classics. And also I have a bookshop project and a creative community project. They're both on Instagram. The creative community is called Creators and Cardigans Community. You can join group chats, you can join our Discord server, and it's just a place for creators from all over the world to meet and share their work. The account is run by me, so drop me a message if you want to share some work on there. I will be very happy to do that. We have people from all over the world. We've got Italy, Malta, Scotland, Wales, England, America, Germany, all over the place. And the bookshop project is called Boom Boom Books on Instagram, and it is a project where I will be how do you put it, sharing the journey of learning how to, and hopefully actually doing, the setting up of an indie bookshop in London. So follow me on those, drop me a message, let me know, sort of, if you're a creator, let me know what you do. If you want to join the community, just follow, just message, you know what to do. And without further ado, I'm going to get into this video. This is Vasily / Rasputin. The happy side is Vasily. The angry side is Rasputin. This is my little octopus that one of my sister's best friends gave me for Christmas, and he sits and watches me write. He's like my little mascot. So I haven't got a specific order in which I am going to answer these. I know there's a couple that I need to answer at the same time. So we're just going to start. Let's start here. What do I do when I'm in a slump, or I have writer's block, or I don't know how to continue what I'm writing? That's a great question, and I know who sent me that question. But usually for me, I will go and write something else. I have written 6 novels since I was 13, multiple short story books, multiple poetry books, although I haven't published a lot of them. So it's all about finding something else to write. If you are writing a novel and you get stuck, don't sit there and try to continue writing. Go and write something else, because sometimes you have inspiration for a book you don't plan on writing yet. But if that inspiration is there, you have to write it. It's that simple. So what I do is I always have many notebooks and pieces of paper surrounding my laptop on my desk here. And when I am getting, stuck on something, I will go and write something else, or I will take a break. I'll go and read something that is in my genre to write. Or I will watch a YouTube video of writers on YouTube talking about their own journey. That kind of thing. And then when I come back to it, I've got a clear mind, I'm not stressed, and I can sort of read through what I've done and gone, yeah. And, when I wrote Icarus Falls, the first draft, I went through it and I could tell exactly when I wasn't inspired and when I was really tired. And I was able to go through those in the edit and sort those out. So if you do choose to continue writing and you feel like that writing is subpar in comparison to other writing you do, that's fine. The first draft is not meant to be amazing. It's meant to be shapeable, moldable. So write something else, take a break. Don't judge yourself too much for the quality of the writing if you feel the quality is bad, because really, all writers think that their writing is bad. That is a universal thing. And that's what editing's for, Ernest Hemingway once said, write drunk, edit sober. And while I don't drink, I have interpreted that as write whatever is there and then concentrate on the edits, because it's the edits that make it good. I went on a little rant there, but the next question, what's my favourite genre to write? I'm so glad you asked this question, whoever did. Over the past, how old am I? I'm 19. Started writing novels when I was about 12. 7-ish years. I have written in multiple genres. I've written fantasy, I have written young adult romance, I have written crime, I have done short stories, I've done a collection of horror stories, I have done like humanitarian kind of genre where I talk about big social subjects, and I've done a lot of poetry, but the genre I like to write the most is Greek mythology retellings. Although, to be fair, it doesn't specifically have to be Greek. It can be mythology retellings in general. I am a classics student. Well, arts and humanities specialising in classics. So basically a classics student. And mythology is what got me into writing, actually. I was writing for school when I was 7. I wrote an essay, and I think it was about Greek mythology. And my mum looked at it and she went, you're going to be a writer. And from then on, I've just been writing every chance I get. So mythology retellings are definitely my jam. Icarus Falls is a mythology retelling. I also enjoy writing sort of romance. So it's not so much dystopian mythology retellings. It's more romance / fantasy mythology retellings. But I do concentrate on some social subjects. For example, Icarus Falls has a strong theme about LGBTQIA+, and about depression and stuff like that. So I sort of mould it all together, but mythology rewrites, that's my favourite genre. What's next? I'm going to have a drink. Talking about writing is thirsty work. Where do I get my inspiration? See, the funny answer to that would be my hallucinations, but that's not actually that funny. So, well, it's funny to me, but other people might not find it funny. I get it from everywhere. The inspiration for Icarus Falls was actually my twin sister, because we do poetry lunches in my house. Well, poetry / art lunches where we all go and we have lunch together, because usually we don't have lunch together because we're all, working. But we go and we have lunch together once a week, and we read out some writing that we've done, or we show some art. And on one of these, my twin sister Lily came with a drawing of Icarus and a poem that she'd written about Apollo and Icarus. And I went, hang on a minute. And I grabbed my notebook and I just wrote down some basic ideas. And then I was in Tesco's with my mum, and the magic system that I have created for Icarus Falls just came to me. I was in the free from section. I remember it distinctly. I was in the free from section and it just came to me and I was like, hang on a minute. Figured it out. And I grabbed my phone, wrote in the notes the magic system, and then that would have been sort of September, October time, and then I just wrote it in November for NaNoWriMo. And I managed 50,000 words in 3 weeks because I was off for 1 week because I was sick, and ended up managing to write the entire novel in 7 weeks. So yeah, my inspiration comes from anything and everything. You know, I always have a notebook or my phone with me and I write things down. I read a lot as well, which means that I can see sort of what's popular, what people are talking about. And because I study classics, it's really easy to get into the mythology and find out more. So my inspiration is anything and everything. Really, it all depends on what I'm writing. For my poetry, my main inspiration is, again, mythology, but also the moon. We love the moon in this poet's heart. Yes, we do. I think I'm going to work my way up instead of down, you know? Things you do to get yourself in author-writer mode. I love this one. Music is really important. For me, anyway. I will either listen to a playlist with songs based around what I'm writing. So, for example, there was lots of Icarus and Apollo playlists on Spotify because, let's face it, who doesn't love Icarus and Apollo? But I also listen to lo-fi beats or lo-fi jazz or just general jazz. There are days when I can't listen to anything with lyrics because it distracts me. So I listen to sort of music without lyrics. That's going to bug me later. And I do tend to get more done when I write with music without lyrics. So that's really important. Make myself a cup of tea. Love a good cup of Earl Grey when I'm writing. I also tend to have my big bottle of water here. It says busy making a difference. And I don't have it with me right now. But I also tend to have a bottle of squash with me as well. So I have my 3 drinks. I've got squash, water, cup of tea. I also have these noise cancelling headphones, which means my boyfriend can be working next to me, or my twin can be working her studio, which is right beside, in the room beside mine, or my little sister can be outside playing, and I can't hear anything. And that's also helpful for when I'm working in the house rather than in my office, which is what I tend to do when I'm not well, because it gets cold in here. And sometimes, you know, I just read for a bit and then I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to write. It's important to have sort of things that you do, rituals that you do to get into writer mode, because you're writing, own it, have a ritual. Journaling also helps. Don't know why, but journaling helps. How long did it take you to write Icarus Falls? I have answered this earlier by mistake. 7 weeks, about. For the first week of November, so I did NaNoWriMo, 50,000 words in a week. Nope, in a month. Can you tell I'm tired? 50,000 words in a month. And for the first week of that, I was incredibly ill. So much so that I couldn't get anything done. Uni work, writing, nothing. So I had 3 weeks in November. I didn't tend to write that much on Sundays because I was exhausted. I think I keep going in and out of focus because I was exhausted, but I did have a couple of days where I wrote upwards of 10,000 words a day. I can remember distinctly November I was going to a friend's house for his birthday, and on that day I'd woken up at about 9. It was a Saturday. Woken up at 9, gone through my morning routine. I look like I'm crying. I'm not. I have an itchy eye. Gone through my morning routine and then spent the entire day writing, and I wrote 15,000 words, which was like great. It was really good. So yeah, I like to get my novels written quickly and then spend more time editing them, so 7 weeks. When did I decide to go full-time? I want to say October 2021. I'd started my writing career in 2020 when I published my first poetry book, but I was so ill I couldn't actually think of going full-time with anything. And obviously I was still sort of in the A-level age group, and I was still sort of studying part-time to get a level 3 in criminal profiling. So it wasn't really an option for me. I was writing a lot, but it wasn't an option for me up until sort of September, October time, 2021, because I started my degree, but I'm doing a part-time degree and I am loving it and finding it quite easy to do, and I'm learning a lot. And I think it was the end of October, I published a verse novel and I want to do this full time. And so I went to my mum and I said, I'm going to write full time. And she's like, okay, you do that. So I am still studying, but it's really part time. So yeah, end of October, and then November I put it into sort of play. How would you go about becoming a full-time author if you have no money to start off with? This is the question that goes with, is it? Yeah, this is a question that goes with another one, which is, are you able to earn a sufficient level of funding? I want to start off answering these questions by saying it takes years to get to a point where you are writing full-time and getting enough to live with. You know, one of the reasons writing is one of the hardest careers to get into is because it is just so difficult to actually succeed in. You know, I've been writing since I was 7 years old. I'm 19 now, so that's what, 12 years? And I'm only now sort of getting people coming to me and going, yeah, we want to buy your book. And even then, you know, if my book is £10, publish it on Amazon, I get £4 of that. If 4,000 people buy my book, what's 4,000 times 4? It's about 16,000. I'm really bad at maths, and this is just an idea, and that's £16,000. That's not enough to live on if I was living by myself. I am very lucky because I am my parents. I'm living with my parents. I pay them rent, but it is like half of what, if not less, if not more than. Wait, I got confused. I pay them rent, but it's not a lot of rent. And they, you know, mum helps me if I need to get, you know, food. You know, mum sorts the food out. She does, you know, I don't have to pay for electricity or Wi-Fi or anything. And I'm very lucky to be able to do that. And one of the reasons I'm able to do that, which I never thought I was going to say this, I'm quite lucky to be ill, because one of the reasons that I am able to write full time and live with my parents is because of my illnesses. So earning a sufficient level of funding will take a little while, but you shouldn't give up just because you haven't earned that money straight away. That's not something that you need to give up on. No, it's not a situation where you publish a book and then you're a bestseller. That's not how it works. It can take years to be a bestseller. Hank Green, for example. I love the Green brothers. John Green, Fault in Our Stars, what a lad. But Hank Green has, he published his first novel in either 2020 or 2021. It took him 8 years to write it and get it ready for publication and get it out. And it can take that long, if not longer, to, you know, write what you want to write or edit it. Or if you want to go with traditional publishing, it takes even longer, because with self-publishing you can decide exactly when you want to put it out, which is why I am going to be getting Icarus Falls out in 5 months. But if I'd went with a traditional publishing deal, I would have got it out in 2-3 years. So it's all about what you do, and it's a waiting game. You have to be patient. Don't expect money the first time round. I think that's what people, mistake about writing, is they think if you write a novel and you publish it, boom, you're going to get the money, and you're not, because that's not how it works. But how would you go about becoming a full-time author if you have no money to start off with? Ask for support. If you live with your parents, say to them, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to do it. If you're able to, get a part-time job. There's the whole aesthetic of, actors in New York working as waitresses. Writers can do the same thing. We can write and work at the same time. So get a part-time job, talk to your parents, see, if you live with them, can you continue living with them? If you don't live with them but can't pay your rent, could you move back in with your parents? If you don't want to move back in with your parents, get roommates. It's all about managing the finances, which is not really a good answer from me, because I'm useless at managing money, because numbers confuse me and I buy a lot of books. For me, I have a lot of savings, because the year I was born meant that the government gave me a trust fund, and so I put half of that trust fund into savings, and I have savings now that I have as a backup if I can't pay rent, or if I do need to move out, or if anything sort of happens. So having savings is good. And the thing is, if you're not sure you want to go full-time, try writing part-time and see what happens. I'd also like to make the point that you can do jobs in writing whilst writing a novel if you're writing full-time. Lots of people are full-time freelance authors, which means that basically they write for companies, they write for newspapers, and they get paid to do it, like paid per word. But that is almost as difficult to get into as publishing a novel. And I'm still trying to get into that, but there's a lot of things about it that I don't understand, and you have to put yourself out there. And often when you're just starting out, you don't have that many examples of your writing online, so people don't trust you. Right, I actually have to knock off which ones I've done, because I'm getting confused. Right, only a few more to go. What was/is the biggest obstacle in your career? Patience. My mum would describe it as me wanting to get to the end of the alphabet without going through the middle of the alphabet. And, she's right. I do. I want to be at the point where I have a dedicated readership, where I am churning novels out regularly, where I am earning a living. But you can't do that without putting the work in first. Another thing is editors and beta readers can be quite harsh. If they don't like something, their job is to tell you that they don't like it. So you need to have a thick skin. And I don't have a thick skin yet. I still sort of knock on my mum's door and go, you won't believe what they said. And mum's like, they're helping you. And I'm like, I know, but it's irritating. So you need to, have a thick skin. And I think that's one of my obstacles, is that I haven't got a fully thick skin yet, because I haven't shared my writing with people as editors or betas before. Other obstacles. There was another one that I wanted to bring up. I wrote down which ones I wanted to bring up. And I just gave you those, and then I thought of another one. Obstacles in my career. What did I say? I said patience, and I said the editing. I think also, well, not so much for me, but for other people, often the biggest obstacle is actually doing the writing. But I don't struggle with that because I write all of the time. And marketing, that's what I want to talk about. I'm not good at the whole marketing thing. I have books on them. I haven't read them yet, and I should, because marketing is really important. So that would be a big obstacle for me, because I don't understand how to do the marketing. I understand I make TikTok videos, they go viral, great. And that's happened quite a lot with TikToks about my current novel. But I've not quite got it on Instagram yet, and I haven't quite figured it out on Facebook and stuff like that. And you need to be marketing everywhere in order to get a dedicated readership. Right, done that. Just crossing it off again. What's your favourite line you've written? Ooh. There's a couple of poems that I've written. So I wrote one that says, creator full of old masters, they suit love. I love that line. And there's a line in my novel which is from Icarus's perspective, and he says, or painting and painting until, no, or drawing and drawing until 1,000 paper Apollos paint my walls. And I love that line. That is one of my favourite lines. And there's also a bit where two of the characters, and this is, I can't tell you who the characters are because it's a spoiler otherwise, but two of the characters are, they've been in a relationship for years, and one of them is dying, one of them is not, and the one who isn't dying, no, the one who is dying says to the one who isn't dying, they go, you're in love with someone else, and the one who isn't dying goes, no, but I love you. And the one who is dying sort of looks at him just before they die, and they go, but you will love him more. And I love that scene. I love that line. I love that scene. So that's probably, you know, I've got lots of favourite lines. It is what it is. So, yeah, I think that's one of my favourite lines. Where will my book be available to buy? So far, all of my books are available to buy on Amazon. I have 2 poetry books on Amazon, and my novel will be available to buy on Amazon. But you will also be able to buy, straight from me, signed copies and stuff like that. And I will also be doing like little boxes with fan art and, you know, little, you know, treats, like book boxes, but for my books. I will also be running competitions and stuff once it comes out. So, what was I saying? Yeah, Amazon, or directly from me. You can message me on any of my social medias, and I will reply if you want a copy from me that is signed or comes with bookmarks, you know, that kind of thing. What's the best way to improve? Write as much as possible. That one's a really simple answer. It's, you won't improve if you don't write, but also you can't become a good writer if you're not polishing your craft. A sportsman doesn't, you know, I'm trying to think of a sport now. A footballer does not become a well-paid professional footballer like David Beckham or something without practicing every day consistently. So get a consistent writing routine. Write every day. Whether you think it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. Write every day. I have a notebook that has little prompts of short stories that I write in from time to time. I try to write at least 1,000 words every single day. I try to write some poetry every single day. You know, it's the practice that helps you improve. And the other thing that helps you improve is to listen to what people are telling you. You know, if you have, this hair is really irritating me. If you have a beta reader and they're saying, this is what I don't like, instead of going, well, yeah, whatever, listen to what they're saying. And if they bring up the same thing, for example, one of the things that gets brought up with my beta readers a lot is how concise I am, or lack thereof. And they're like, you need to be more concise. And I'm like, gosh darn, I don't want to be concise. But they're right. My issue is that I write too much. So listen to what they are saying. And don't force yourself to write something that you don't want to write. You know? Keep trying out everything. Every genre, every style of writing. Try it out, because you'll find the one. You know, it's taken me 7 years to find the genre that I am certain I'm going to work in for the rest of my life. 7 years, that's a long time. But you do find it. So work in everything. Try different genres. Listen to your betas or your editors, or even what your teachers are telling you about essay writing, and practice every single day. Set aside some time and practice writing. You know, 15 minutes, half an hour, it doesn't have to be a long time. And you know, once you do that, you write more. You know, when I have a habit, I've got a habit of writing now, and I can write in between 1 and 5,000 words every half an hour. And that's because I practice, and it's because I concentrate. So practice is like one of the most important things. What has helped you most writing a book? I'm looking at the amount of time I've spent talking about writing here, and it's almost half an hour, and I'm like really, really hoping people will get to hear, because I've got a really important thing at the end. What has helped me most writing a book? I don't know. I think having my first readers, so my first readers are my most trusted readers, and those are my mum, my twin, and my boyfriend. And I talk to them about my book a lot, which means I get to bounce ideas off them, find out what they think. But other than that, just sitting down and writing it has been, you know, the thing. And practicing, you know, I've written 6 novels in my life. And one of them was handwritten on about 260 pages, handwritten. So practice as well. Can I suggest books for writers? I have a pile of books here. I would also suggest, what's it called? Stephen King's On Writing. One of my books wasn't sitting properly. That is a really good one. He talks about his writing process. Let's keep falling down. And I have read that many times. I would also suggest The Ode Less Travelled, which is by Stephen Fry, and it's talking about poetry and how to write poetry. I've been enjoying this book, which is the first 5 pages. I have a stack of books here that I've borrowed from a friend who is also, I think he used to write books, but he might still write books. But we've got the first 5 pages, which is basically a writer's guide to staying out of the rejection pile. We have Rewriting, a creative approach to writing fiction. The thing about writing is you can't read enough about it, because there's loads of advice and stuff out there. And my favourite book on writing is Chris Fox's 5,000 Words an Hour, I think. Yeah, 5,000 words an hour, and it's how he manages to get books written and published in just a few months. And I have that on my Kindle. And I'm also reading a book at the moment. I can't remember what it's called. Obviously, when I edit, I'll just put it up here. But it's about self-editing your novel and training yourself to be able to properly self-edit your novel within a month. And then last but not least, my favourite question, and I will be doing a video on this, an updated video. I'm still collecting my things, but I will be doing a full concentrated video on this, is what tools do I use? One of the reasons I'll be doing a video for this is because when I was younger, I wanted someone to make a video of the physical things that you can use to write and the physical things that you might need. So I'm going to be quick because I've now used up half an hour of your time talking about writing. Little notebook for ideas. Doesn't have to be tidy or anything. See, sticky notes, anything. And I take this with me generally everywhere I go, especially if I'm writing, if I'm not going out to write. And I just write down ideas. I write down book title ideas. That. A notebook for poetry. This is my current poetry notebook, which my mum bought me. See, poetry. And I take that with me everywhere, and I write poetry in it every single day. I have hair in my mouth. This is the perks of hair falling out, you see. We have just almost dropped a thing of pens on the floor. A reporter's notebook. This one I'm specifically using for writing. So this is like editing. This is my beta readers list. Ideas. And I keep that with me when I'm writing, so I can write things down. This is another notebook, but this is the one that has sort of, you know, the loose leaf paper of ideas and all of that, and sort of, you know, it's basically a big version of the smaller notebook. A planner, always useful, helps you to, you know, sort out your time. What else do I use? Hang on, I'm just grabbing them, but I like it to be colour coded. A stack, the sticky notes. I use them in neutral, pastel colours because of my headaches, but you can use them in whatever colour you want. These are my box of sticky tabs, which I used when writing and editing. Ink pens and just pens in general are really useful. Highlighters. And then I also have my laptop. I have a Samsung laptop, so it matches my phone. And I write on Word, and I use Grammarly for a lot of the editing stuff. So, those are my main tools that I use. And then obviously, my little mascot. So those are the main tools that I use. And yeah. Thank you for watching. This has been a long video. I somehow managed to make all of my videos long because I just talk for ages. But if you have made it to the end, let me know, because, you know, I'm proud of you if you have. And I will see you guys next week with another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and happy writing.